And we're back. It's totally been a substantial amount of time later since our last episode.
Yeah, like, it's been in my mind an entire week.
Yeah. Totally didn't finish up the movie review and then have to dive straight into a mini show to try and stick to whatever schedule we have.
We absolutely did not just consecutively record two things.
I've never experienced technical difficulties in my life.
No, Sam and I are always prepared and everything is smooth when we, record. And yes, we have a whole week to rest before we meet again.
Yeah, but we're not just here to brag about how great we are at this.
Yeah, listeners, welcome to our I guess this is like the second mini-sode of 2021.
Yeah. We're here to pick our movie for the next week.
Ooh, so excited. I love picking the movie, especially because this time I have actually, since we're always prepared, updated the Real Horror Show spreadsheet with all of the new movies on Netflix.
Heck yeah.
Oh, yeah. Now all it takes is some praying to the great J-Man, and here we go.
And the next movie we're watching is Death of Me, which is a 2020 horror movie that as of today is the top 10 movies of today on Netflix.
Right now, and today is, not to timestamp this, but today is Tuesday the 19th.
It's Inauguration Eve.
Yes.
COVID ends tomorrow.
That's right, a whole new era begins.
Yeah. Let's see. With no memory of the previous night, a vacationing couple uncovers a disturbing personal video that inexplicably shows one of them killing the other.
Whoa.
That sounds intense.
Wild.
This movie is mind-bending, ominous, and scary.
So who gets the job to choose those three defining terms for all the Netflix movies?
I don't know. I wonder, I'm sure once my wonderful, fabulous movie that I wrote that is just, it's going to be really good, you guys.
Yeah.
It's going to be really good. Hashtag Turbo Cola.
Anyway.
Yeah. Maybe it's on the Google form you have to send in when you're submitting your movie to Netflix.
Oh yeah, like what are 3 words that you would use to describe this movie? It's like,
I mean, that would make sense to me.
Yeah, like mind-bending, scary, and dark.
Yeah, just awesome. When you're at a job interview, what are 3 words that describe you?
Dude, yeah, and those are like those 3 words that you really have to find like the best ones. So these people have worked hard to find these really great descriptors.
And you know what? I haven't had much luck with getting job interviews because of COVID, but the next one I get when they ask me that, I'm going to tell them I'm mind-bending, ominous, and scary.
Mind-bending, ominous, and scary. And it's like they're almost the same, but they're different. So that's what makes it like very clever. Excellent. Yes. All right.
And this movie is 1 hour and 34 minutes.
Oh, that's an excellent amount of time to watch a movie. I think every movie should be that long, unless it's a really great movie, then it should be longer.
Yep. So, speaking of really long things, this past week in between recording our last movie review and this mini show, we were discussing possibly for the mini shows reviewing other content.
Yes, because here in Purgatory, where Sam and I are stuck, we're stuck with only Netflix to watch, and we thought that only the horror movies were available, but we were like doing some clicking around and noticed that shows are available too. Who would have thunk it? So
wow. and vampire-based shows.
Absolutely. And we just we're gifted a book about vampires, so why not even just take it a step further and a show, which is like watching book chapters. Am I right?
Yeah.
Fabulous.
So we're playing around with the idea of watching the #Vampire Diaries.
And I believe that we're right on time with watching the Vampire Diaries.
And it'll be super fun because I'm 2 years away from 30 years old. Stormy's like 1.5 years, I think.
I think.
Because you're like a year older than me, right?
Wait, I'm 28,
Oh, okay.
I think.
So you are slightly closer than I am.
Yeah, I'm 28 and I'm going to be 29 in July, and Luke is 29. He's going to be 30. That's how I keep track.
Oh God,
Whew.
we're old. So this will be really fun. And Stormy and I,
there's 8 seasons.
yeah, Stormy and I both missed the Vampire Diaries during its first run, so I don't know what happens in this show.
Me neither. I know there are vampires because it says the word vampire. So there should be some vampires.
Do you think there's diaries?
Maybe there is a diary, or I don't know. That's a good question, because what if they leave? What if there is no diary? That would be pretty.
That would be misleading.
It would be misleading, but it would add a layer of like mystery. So, yeah.
So be on the lookout for that in our upcoming minisodes, because as soon as Joe Biden takes office this week, we're not going to have any fun news to talk about, so we got to keep the mini shows fresh.
Yeah, we do. We're waiting for, JK to fuck up again.
No, just Twitter. Waiting forever.
Yeah.
Oh shit, the one and only Cirque du Freak movie is on Netflix.
Is it Cirque du Freak, The Vampire Diaries?
No, it's The Vampire's Assistant.
Yes. I'm sorry. I was looking at the words, The Vampire Diaries, when I said that. But dude, that's been on there for like years, Sam. I put that on and I never took it off.
I saw that movie in theaters because I had a friend who was really into the book series.
Is it good? I never saw it myself.
You know what? It's interesting. It's a different take on vampires. That's all I remember. Like, there are vampires and then there's vampanese. And then the vampanese are more like what we traditionally associate vampires with. Vampires are actually just like chill dudes who occasionally need blood.
I see.
I mean, it's more interesting than Twilight, one would argue. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd say, isn't that like the Volturi who like are obsessed with blood, and then the Cullens who like only just, they don't have to have it?
Yeah.
Okay, right on.
Hashtag vegetarians.
Yeah, yes. I know, right? And Bella's like a vegetarian too. Isn't that cute?
That's adorable.
That's absolutely the family she belonged. No wonder she never felt accepted by her own family, who are carnivores, when the vampires are actually vegetarians anyway. So it just works.
Yeah.
One vegetarian to another. Sometimes your non-vegetarian family just doesn't get it.
Yeah, I'm gonna slowly, and David's fine with it, slowly integrate more plant-based meals into our diet, and I'm sure it'll go over swimmingly with both of our families.
It's so funny to watch, even if you just did it for fun, because they get so confused when they're like, well, what will you eat if it's not chicken? And you're just like, well, everything else.
Everything but meat?
Yeah, and they're like, what else is there? And it's like, wow, a lot. But it really, whenever you do stuff like that, you do get like, you do learn more about like different food combos and stuff like that too.
Yeah, like chickpeas, which are delicious.
Chickpeas are great. I actually like OD'd on chickpeas. I haven't had chickpeas for a while. Like, I'll eat too much a lot and then I'll take a long break. So right now I'm on like portobello mushroom caps.
Nice.
A lot. I love to do that with the mushroom caps. But yeah, anyway, I'm not trying to like continue talking about vegetarianism. If you want to do that, that's awesome. If you eat meat, that's awesome too. I don't care what you eat, but I eat veg. But I also eat dairy and fish, so it's just a weird thing. Anyway.
The Vampire Diaries is about two brothers and a girl. Based on Netflix, it trapped in adolescent bodies, feuding vampire brothers Stefan and Damon vie for the affection of the captivating teenager Elena.
Mm-hmm.
This show is ominous and suspenseful.
Excellent. These guys look like they look a little bit older than adolescents, I'd say, but that's okay. They're vampires.
Yeah, everybody knows once you become a vampire, you just stay at like 25 years old.
Whoa, sex scenes from the What kind of show is this, Sam?
I guess it's going to be a little spicy.
I was just looking at like images, you know how the images on Google have like a caption from like the news story that said 11 sex vampire diaries. Well, listen, they're adolescents in the beginning. There's 8 seasons. Obvi, they grow up, so you know it's whatever.
Yeah.
Cool. This has a freaking 4.8 out of 5, dude, on whatever this rating is here on Google.
I think this will be a fun little adventure for us.
Yeah, what loser voted 2 stars? Like, the line sliver is so skinny on number 2. Anyway, this is going to be an excellent adventure, and I'm very, very excited to discuss with you how many
more
episodes to
teenage
watch
vampires.
And what to do. Yeah, and discuss the vampires and all that.
Because we love vampires on this podcast.
Yeah, I feel like Sam and I were really getting into a little bit of like a vampire wave right now, which is awesome.
Yeah. But I think that's about it for this week.
Yep, we both just didn't say anything and we silently agreed that there was nothing more to be said.
Yeah. Unless you have something else.
You know what? I don't. I'm excited to get off the air and get my direction on the show.
Start binge watching some Vampire Diaries.
Yeah, put it on my list, on my to-do list. All right, cool. So no outro for the minisode. So everybody, if you would like to join us in our discussion next time on Death of Me on Netflix, which is 2020. So that's a very modern movie.
That's very new.
Oh yes, thank you, Jesus.
But hope you all have a great week.
Yeah, guys, have a great week. Happy inauguration week, and we will talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
And there's a creepy doll that always follows you. It's got a ruined eye. It's always open. And there's a creepy doll.